So, Scotty, you there?
I am. How are you?
I am doing good. My dog had a, a sucker sticking out of its mouth. I was afraid he'd choke on the stick there.
I heard that. I saw that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I'm just multitasking tonight, aren't I?
That's good, man.
Hey, how's the weather up north there?
Icy, rainy, cold, nasty. Yeah. I want to
Yeah.
go back to Key West. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, I know. I see you were coming back to Florida, Pensacola. Then I seen you at Key West for Patrick Burns' wedding.
Yeah, that was a wonderful wedding. We had a blast of a time down there. But it was my first time down in the Keys. I was like, as far as south that I've gotten was Orlando and that area. I went to Miami once when I was a kid, but I really never got down into the Keys.
It was pretty nice, wasn't it?
Oh my God! I told the owner of my company up here. I said, I'll bite the bullet and open the store down there for you.
Yeah, I'll take one for the team.
I said, I'll take one for it because I'll move down there. I said, boy, it was nice. I mean, it was November and it's 80. I'm sitting out and eating dinner out on the patio, and wow, I was like, I could get used to this.
I have to admit, it was really nice here today. We were out at the farm with the horse. We were sitting there in t-shirt and tank tops and just a nice cool breeze. It's like about 75. It was sweet.
Okay, yeah, that's rubbing in.
Yeah, I know.
We had 8 inches of snow yesterday, and then we had freezing rain today. So thanks, man.
You know what's so funny? 'Cause I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, so I know how the weather is. And it's just weird because living in Florida here, you don't realize, like my kids don't realize, around the country, like up towards your guys, it is crappy, snowy, and just horrible weather. And it's just like you're oblivious to it down here. It's like you're in a whole nother world.
It is. It's weird how big the United States are, you know what I mean?
How much it's
travel
changed.
for 2 days and you're still not all the way across the country, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's what it was like when I went to the Pensacola Paracon. I met up with you guys. It took me just as long to get to Pensacola as it did from Wisconsin to Florida. I thought that was crazy. My kids couldn't understand how it was a time change and everything. I never left the state of Florida.
I know, it is crazy. I mean, well, no, and I can't complain. We've had a decent winter so far. We've only got snow yesterday and one other snowstorm a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, all through Christmas we were in the 50s, so that's fabulous for us. So we'll take that any day of the year. So now it's the cold season. We knew we were going to have to get it, so let's get it done with and get on to the summer. So
yeah, it was like that in Buffalo too. When I was talking to some relatives, they said they have no snow for Christmas. I'm like, really? And they said, yeah, it was like 50.
It was like 50 degrees on Christmas Day. It was real nice. It was wonderful. I do that every year.
They do it every year. I can see you running out in your shorts and sandals and everything. Now some people might not know you in the chat room. I know some people are giving you shout-outs in the chat room.
Yeah, I have Mackenzie's in the chat room. Hi, Mackenzie. Cass is in the chat room. Hi, Cass. Great friends of mine, so I just give them a big shout-out here before we get going.
That's Mackenzie that I met, right?
No, a different one. I think she was at the Pensacola Paracon, but 2 years ago. So that was Amy's friend from 2 years ago. So I don't know if you might have met her then. So
I think it's the same Mackenzie. If she's in the room, tell me if it's you, Mackenzie. Hi. If not, then hi, new Mackenzie. Now, just so people know, I met Scotty at the Pensacola Paracon, and we ran the event really. Me, Scotty, Joe, and Daryl, and a couple other people. We got put up into the A list for an investigation.
Very quick.
Yes, very quick. We were pulled up in the ranks, and we did an event on Saturday night, an investigation, and we had like over 150 people show up.
Yeah, it was crazy how busy it was. I mean,
yeah.
We barely had the people for the Paracon, but they all came for the investigation both nights.
Yeah.
Sunday night too.
Yeah, that was crazy how many people. And the funny thing is, me and Scotty, Saturday night, Scotty was doing a psychic sweep through the theater. And I was walking with him, taking notes, and we were moving stuff around, putting markers where Scotty felt stuff. And when we left to go up there, there was like maybe 30 people outside. And we come back, we couldn't even get in the room where everybody was standing.
I know, it was packed. I was like, where is everybody? Where did all these people come from?
I know, it's like,
holy... I mean, in our group, I mean, I think we had over 50 people.
Yeah.
I know everybody always wants to investigate with the medium.
Yes.
So.
That's what it is. It's the medium. Which, you know what, though? I have to admit, Scotty, I did the interview with Joe on here, I talked about you, and just to let people know, Scotty Rorek is very legit. I mean, he is an awesome medium, and it's not just his gift. This guy, we're at an event working, and I had a situation happen with my team back here, which is about 9 hours away from Pensacola, with my sensitive on my team. And Scotty took the time from the event, took my cell phone, and said he got a message he had to talk with her to help a client we had with a kid. And that was the thing that sold me on you, Scotty, that it's not about the glamour and the events and that, it's about helping people. And that's what's so cool about you.
Right. That is the biggest thing for me. And that's where, hopefully after tonight, everyone that doesn't know me will get to know me a little bit better and understand that it really is all about helping people. And especially after my health scare that I've had here for the last month and a half, and I am getting better, and everything turned out that I'm cancer-free, so everything's great. But the thing that it really means to me is to help the people, because a lot of groups on TV and everywhere else say they're helping people, but they really aren't, and it's all about me making people feel better with spirit. So
that's why I thought it was awesome. You know, you didn't even really care about, not that you didn't care about the event, but you were kind of like, no, this family needs me to give her a message to help her. And I was like, cool, I'll cover. You go. You went outside and took care of it. And that's what's missing sometimes in this paranormal field, I think. Everyone's looking to make a quick buck or be the next big thing. And they're missing a point. We're supposed to be helping each other as colleagues, networking, and trying to move the paranormal field forward, and also helping people out there that are genuinely scared, you know?
Right. Yep, I agree with that. I mean, at the moment, nothing mattered to me other than the family that needed my help. And I was getting messages, and I knew what was going on, and I had to be there to help. And that's, to me, that's way more important than anything that I'm doing, even radio shows or anything like that. You know, if I'm needed, and I need to go.
Yep.
You know, it's just the way it is. So I definitely look at it as much different than a lot of people. So.
Yeah, than some people. Yeah. Some people that think Ouija boards are possessed.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's an insight.
You know, the curse that I got for defending that statement was okay, I guess, because it's been a good year because of it so far.
Yeah, you're still.
I found out that I don't have cancer,
yes.
So that's a good thing. I filmed the Booth Brothers movie right after. I got the movie because of being cursed. I was like, I'll take more curses from her if this is what's going to happen.
I don't know if she cursed. She was giving you like the stink eye, man.
Actually, like, Mark Anthony, the other psychic medium that was there, him and I both got cursed because Christopher Booth told me later that he heard that we both got cursed. And that's what we were talking about at breakfast that morning, where he then offered me a role in Children of the Grave 2. He goes after the curse, and then he showed me this voodoo doll, and I was like, ooh, I knew right away the intent. He goes, see, you're real. I want you in the movie. I said, great. It all came from the curse.
That's awesome. I actually had Christopher on to start out the new year, to end the new year, or my last season. I mean, he was just like he was at Pensacola. It's so personal and just down to earth person.
Oh, he is great, and his girlfriend Kelly's awesome. You know, you met her there too. So we talk all the time. But yeah, even on set they are. I mean, they're just the way they are all the time. It is awesome.
Yeah, they're very real. They're not just like you are. I mean, the coolest thing that me and Scotty got complimented on, people thought we knew each other for years because we just me and you just clicked and just did our thing and kept everybody happy. And people are like, oh, how long you been working together? I'm like, I just met him in a lobby earlier.
we just met and we got teamed together. And yeah, I know. I couldn't believe everybody goes, so how long you, Bob, been working together? I said, 10 minutes.
Yeah, we just did a psychic
We just
sweep.
met each
And
other.
now,
But it was fun too. I mean, you got to tell them that, we were, by the end of our spiel, we were, we're finishing each other's sentences. I mean,
Yeah.
we did really click, and it was really cool. It's always great to meet people that you really have the, like mind of, you know what I mean?
well, it's because, like I was telling people, we're just like Christopher Booth and a lot of other people in the paranormal field. We have a passion for this. We're not looking to be the next big thing. It's just we have a passion for it. Something's driving us. It's not about trying to be the next big thing or making money at this. You know what I mean?
Yep. There's messages to be given and people
Yeah.
to be helped, and that's what it's about. And when you forget about that's the biggest point right there to me is when people lose that sight. They think that the movie is the big deal, or I mean, I filmed the movie. I mean, it was great, and I thank Christopher for it. But helping people means more. You know what I mean? I mean, it was wonderful, and hopefully somebody will see that and do it. My wife and I are starting to write a book, and it's going to be based on trying to help people earlier out, that really don't understand ghosts. So, that type of stuff. So that's where I'm looking at this new year, because I mean, when you're faced with issues that you kind of look at your immortality real quick, and even though that I'm not scared to die because I'm a psychic medium and I know that there is something after. And by the way, the gentleman that passed said hi.
Really?
Just so, yeah. I got that when you were talking about him before I came on the air.
That's
He said
cool.
he is in a much better place, and you know where he is, and you should have realized that, and don't say that you don't know where he is.
I just
That's what
don't.
he wanted me to tell you.
Yeah, I don't like to assume. That's cool though, because he was a really nice guy, and
Yep. And he just kept telling me, tell him he knows where I am.
and you know what? He'd be like that too. Yeah, he knows where I am. That's
Yep.
cool. Thanks, Scotty.
Yep, no problem. I just wanted to give you that because I didn't want that to go by. But yeah, when you were saying that earlier. But when you're faced with it personally, you sit there and you go, okay, who am I? What am I really? And what am I really doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is this the right thing? Am I? And then the more I thought about it, was the more this is the right thing, because it's time for me to help people, and I have to align myself with people like Cass, who's in the chat room, who helps a ton of people out. I have to, and you, Bob, I have to align us with the right people this year and from the future, because that's what's going to make the difference in this world, is the people that really care and want to make the difference and help. And I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, and that's
Joe Kudo, too. Joe Kudo
Yes.
is my partner in crime. He does that, too. He comes from a very skeptical side, and I love Joe dearly, and he'll even come around someday to the spiritual side.
But you know what the thing about Joe is? He keeps it real. What he does on his show is what you see in person. What you do on your show, and when people meet you, it's the real thing. Just like here,
Right.
the way I talk, when you meet me, it's like you see so many people doing these. I don't ever name people, but I see so many people doing internet shows now, and they talk the talk, but then when you meet them in person, they're totally different.
Right.
And I just wish people would be just be real.
Yeah, just be yourself. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to try and be fake and to make everybody happy. It's not about making people happy. It's just about, I don't know, just doing like you said, helping people, and just be truthful to yourself. And I tell you, people will like you. Unless you're,
That's very true.
unless some people I know it's not true.
And I've come to that conclusion too, Bob, is the fact that before I was real worried about what people would say and what people would think, and I'm not going to worry about what other people think, because no matter what I do, people are going to say, he's not real, because, I'm a psychic medium. People will always go, hey, you're nothing, you're just making the shit up, What can I swear? Sorry.
No, we're after.
Didn't mean to.
That's okay. Little words like that.
Poop. Sorry.
Poop.
But I don't care anymore, because I know I've helped a lot of people, and I'm going to continue to help people, and that's what it's about. I don't really care if people like me anymore. I mean, it's great, and I want to like people. I love people. Everybody that knows me, I just get along with people very well. I'm very outgoing. But that's not my goal anymore, is to be liked. My goal is to help. So, and I think a lot of people get into that thing that, well, this person doesn't like me. Yeah, so who cares? Move on.
Yeah, so what? They're the one carrying that negative energy with them. Let them have it.
Right.
Move on.
Exactly. Move on. Let's, you don't need it.
The more you talk about
it.
Yeah, the more you talk about it, like, oh my God, I can't believe then you're feeding into their negativity, and that's
Correct.
They love that, Right. Hey,
That's what sucks.
Before we go any further, I wanted to jump back. I saw a guy, or I'm not sure if it's a guy, Case, about the Ouija board not being a joke, and it shouldn't be sold as a game. This is the thing that me and Scotty were kind of joking about. When we were at Pensacola, we had this big debate. The Ouija board itself isn't possessed. It's it's the person that's channeling, using it, that actually, if you're thinking, Scotty was talking about, this is where Scotty kind of got in an argument, that if you feel if you're thinking negative, like, oh, it's something demonic.
It's your intent, Bob.
Yes.
It's your intent.
It's the person's intent, not the Ouija board itself. And that's the big thing that Scotty got into this very angry debate. Not Scotty's side, but the other person was the Ouija board's possessed, and it's the person's intent that's using it.
Right.
It's almost like how people say guns don't kill people. The people that pull the trigger are the one killing. You know what I mean?
Right, it is. Yeah, because guns in themselves aren't inherently bad.
Yeah.
Because they allow you to get food and that type of stuff. But if the person behind it uses it for something, then exactly, that's exactly my point on it.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is too is I can create a Ouija board for my cell phone and 10 pieces of paper. You know what I mean? I can create a Ouija board out of my breakfast cereal bowl. Is my breakfast cereal bowl haunted? No. It's the intent of my cereal bowl and the person behind the cereal bowl using it. I'm taking it to an extreme now, but you can, you could even use the ghost apps on your phone and use them wrong,
Well, people in the room...
It's all in how you use it and your intent on how you use it.
It's just like someone's like, they said they don't like the ghost box. And we use the ghost box on investigation. That's technically similar to a Ouija board. You're channeling, trying to get messages through it. Correct. It's all about your intent.
But same thing as table tipping. We just table tipping at church the other night, and I belong to a spiritualist church. So no matter when you do that, we start out our table tipping because it's still spirit communication. No matter when you're talking to spirit, you start it out the same way. You talk about it for only the highest and best good of you and the messages coming through. And if that's your intent, that's what you're going to get through it. I mean, I do that for my pendulums. I use that for my dowsing rods. I use that for table tipping. I use it for my spirit boxes. I use it for Ouija boards. I use it. It's all the same.
And
it's all the same. You say a prayer at the beginning and you say a prayer at the end, and you ask for the only highest and best good, and that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, and if you're seeking out something negative because you've watched Paranormal Activity or some weird program on TV the night before, guess what? That's probably what will come through whatever equipment you're using. Michelle Vance said it's pretty much any equipment or tool you use to communicate. It's your intent what you're looking for.
Correct.
So just so people out there know this, and I've said on this show before, one of the things people are forgetting when they're investigating nowadays is the human factor of EVP sessions and that. You got to remember, a lot of these spirits you're trying to communicate, before they were in spirit form, they were like us. So you should just treat them like that and not treat them like you're hunting an animal.
Okay, let's talk about that, because it was kind of funny. I was just talking about this with my wife today after watching a show. Okay, to me, spirit all right, let me preface this so everybody kind of knows where I'm coming from. First of all, I believe a spirit is, or a ghost. I used to call it a ghost, but in the spiritual space, it's more of a spirit because it really is a spirit of a person that has passed. Okay, so that's what I believe. I believe ghosts are spirits of humans that have passed. Okay, so let's start that because a lot of people don't even agree on that, and I agree that's what spirits are. All right. So from that standpoint, I look at it and I go, okay, if you're a bastard in life, you're a bastard in death. You know, you're going to keep the same personality trait. Though in death, you do learn and you do move on and you have the ability to come back, you know, and take more energy, you know, and learn. That's what it is all about. That's why we keep coming back. That's why we have multiple lives. That's why we do this over and over again. That's why we're on the spiritual path, is to grow and become more of an enlightened being. So every person's got that chance. And now, once again, you have the free will to say no, and then your life becomes not as good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is still up to you to say yes or no. I want this or I don't want this. You know what I mean? So you still have that choice. So now what I was talking about is, now when a spirit passes, even though you're a kid or you're an adult, you're still a spirit that is no longer in a 5-year-old's body. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I'm talking to a spirit, I'm not going to pretend that they're a little kid, because that spirit already is out of the body. It already has a mentality that is way stronger than ours, because it knows more, because it's in spirit world. See what I'm saying? So when people think kids are trapped, maybe it's the way the kid wants to come across, because everybody remembers that kid at that time. But it doesn't necessarily mean the kid is there, and they're stuck there as a 5-year-old. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because the way you're explaining it, I was gonna say, if that's what you're thinking, that they're still in child form as a spirit, is that why they'll come across and you'll get the kid laughing or the giggling? Is that to soothe your thoughts or whatever? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, because no, okay. So for example, like if your grandmother came back to you, okay, so your grandmother passed and she came back to you, she's not going to come back to you as her in her last days, right? She's not going to come by as that grandmother to you. She's going to come by to the grandmother to you that you best remember her as, right?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
She's going to be a lot younger. She's going to be a lot more fun when you guys had great times together, correct?
Yes.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, actually I do.
Oh, okay. All right, good. So if you believe that, this is the same thing I'm talking about with kids. They're going to portray themselves as a kid because that's what you think they're going to look for at that time.
It's almost like in real life, when you haven't seen someone in so long or seen someone's kids, the memory you have if seen the last time you seen someone's kid was 8 years old, but now they're like 20, until you see them, what do you think when you go to someone's house? You're thinking you're looking for this little 8-year-old kid, and you're like, holy smokes, you've grown up. And I guess it's the same way with the spirit world. You know? Exactly.
Same point.
All right.
So when you get the residual of a kid, or you get an intelligence with a kid, it's them portraying themselves like that, so you know them at that time.
Well, I understand exactly. That's a really actually cool concept. I mean, when you're saying about my grandmother.
So I get really upset when I see a lot of people investigate, try to baby talk to kids. I'm like going, why would you talk? Their mentality is so beyond yours right now because they're in spirit and you are not. So they understand way more than what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, even if they're a young spirit, they're still going to understand you talking normal to them. You don't have to go, oh, little baby, girl, you around here, blah, blah. I hate that. It drives me nuts. You know, it's one of my biggest pet peeves when people investigate that way. I'm like, oh, really? Seriously? Think about what you're doing.
Hey, they asked you to do that again, Scotty. The little baby talk.
It's ridiculous. I'm not going to do it again.
It's only once.
Yeah, only once. I can't do baby talk. I hate it. It drives me nuts.
You know what's funny? I've never even thought of talking baby talk. If we're at a location and someone claims it is a child spirit, I won't even talk like a child. I'll just say, I'll make some comments about like my kids, saying, you know, hey, you don't have to be afraid of me. I'm not here to harm you. I have kids of my own, stuff like that. But I don't know, it's weird. I would never sit there going, hey, little baby, is there a baby in here?
Yeah. You know, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And I see it all the time. And I see it on TV. I see it everywhere. And I'm like going, seriously, why are you doing that?
Hey, can I tell you a funny story quick? It's a little off subject. Me and my wife work with special need adults and kids. And
Okay.
I was at a mall with one of my special need guys. He's Down syndrome. And one of my wife's friends saw me there, and she comes up, "Hey, Bob, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I just say, "Hey, this is my friend so-and-so." I don't ever name him as my client or anything because I think that's rude. So I say, "Hey, this is my friend." So she goes, "How are you today? Are you doing good?" And I'm thinking, what the frick is she doing? So I just looked at her. I'm like, "What are you doing?" "I'm just talking to him." And I'm like, "Okay." So she walks away. The funniest thing my client or my guy says to me, he goes, "Is she retarded?" And I was like, "Oh, that's so funny that he said that about her." And I talked to her later when he wasn't around. I was like, "Why were you talking like that?" "Well, I thought that's how you had to talk to him." And it's like he's like 40-year-old man. He's a little mentally disabled, but he knows what's going on in the world. Can talk normal. But it's like the same concept you're talking. It drives you crazy. It's like, why would you talk to
It
me?
does. It does. Well, and I'll bring up the point here too. My son has autism, so I can relate to that story quite well.
Yeah.
Because people drive me nuts when they try to talk to him that way. I'm like, going, seriously? He's 17 years old. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah.
He understands what you're talking about. Let's just talk to him. You know what I mean? I understand. It drives me nuts. But yeah, so when you talk to a spirit, you're talking that way. I'm just like, or then when you talk to a spirit in an investigation, and you sit there and you name that same spirit over and over and over again, their name. I'm like going, they understand you're calling for them. Stop it.
Now,
My wife always asks me. She goes, when you're watching those shows on TV, can you tell what's happening in the places they are? I said, yeah, and I can usually tell if there's a spirit there with them or not. And I usually can tell that they're in the wrong room or they're laughing at them because they don't know what the heck they're doing.
I say I'd be a bad spirit. I'd probably mess with people. If people started talking like that, I'd probably just do it in purpose of EVP. Oh my God, we caught this EVP.
I got a little baby. I'm like, oh, seriously, he's 5 years. Even a 5-year-old kid, you don't talk to your 5-year-old. Nobody talks to their 5-year-old kid like that.
No,
Seriously. Oh, are you scared? You want to be out? Oh, come on, seriously.
That's so funny.
Get real. Sorry.
That's awesome, Scotty. Now, we've been talking about you speaking with spirits, and you gave me that message. Just like some people that might not know how your sensitive ability works. Can you give us a little insight of what happens, like how messages hit you? Is it visual, audio?
Sure. All right. Let's start with what a medium is and what a psychic is. I guess we'll start there. That's probably the easiest way to explain everything. Now, every medium is a psychic, but not every psychic is a medium. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, because Pam on my team doesn't want to be called a medium because she says she's not. She says she's just sensitive.
Right. Well, all right. Yeah, she senses things. So, yeah, that's true. She would be a sensitive. I understand when people call themselves that. What a medium is one that actually connects with ghosts, able to hear, receive messages, contact messages. A psychic is able to use their senses and their abilities to see the future, predict things, to see things about you and know your path. So it's a different. A psychic doesn't get them from a spirit like your Uncle Joe. A psychic doesn't call Uncle Joe and say, Uncle Joe, tell me about this person's path. And then they tell them, and then you go on with the messages. Where a psychic just gets the thoughts to them. See the difference?
Yeah.
Where a medium actually is able to talk with that spirit that's in the room. So in an investigation, a medium is great because they're going to be able to talk to whatever spirit's in the room, even if it's not the spirit that you're looking for. And can I go on to that one too in a second? Remind me of that. Because that drives me nuts. There's another point that drives me nuts. So remind me number 2, because it's a good point. But anyway, so back to describing what a medium or a psychic is. So now, for example, I'm a medium. I understand and I hear a spirit's voice. Like the other night, I'm laying in bed here, and I heard a voice say to me, "Sorry." And then I knew my dad and I were talking, so that was him saying it to me. But I heard it clear as day laying in my bed. I heard sorry. Not always do I get the clear messages like that, but I do. And not always do I see the spirit, but I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of the time, when a person or a medium, and everybody's different. Now, this is just for me. When I get it, I get the information like I've known it all my life. It's right in the top of my head. So, like, if I'm talking and I'm talking to you, all of a sudden I will say stuff about your past and your grandfather, boom, boom, boom. It's because your grandfather's feeding me that information. So it just comes straight out or acknowledged. Like the one time when I helped with a missing persons case, I knew that the person was from Ohio, but I didn't know anywhere it was. And I heard that to look on a map. I looked on a map, put my finger on it, and he was found within a mile of where I put my finger on it.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's cool.
And
I didn't know that you did
that
that
wasn't
too.
a cool thing. He was deceased, but
Well,
I knew
yeah.
that right away too. You know.
But
So
you
it's
gave
stuff
someone
that
closure.
What?
But you gave a family closure because they were able to find a body and know for sure.
Correct.
Because that
Correct.
kills.
You are correct.
I know that kills people when you can't find a body, when someone's missing. They want that closure of knowing at least they're dead or what happened maybe to them.
Right. So yeah, it did help. It did help them get that closure, but it doesn't. To me, it sucks because I wish I was there earlier.
Yeah.
Tried to help them before. You know what I mean? But yeah. So when you're in a place, that's what I sense. I mean, so I'm able to get gender right away. I know if it's a male energy and a female energy, they come across very differently. I know, and then I'm usually able to connect with it. But sometimes I use my psychic abilities because I don't know who's in the building. They're not coming forward, so I have to use my psychic abilities to try to figure out who it is.
Kind of draw them out, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Now that's what drives me nuts about. I'm going to get into it because it really drives me nuts. Number 2 is Scotty is driving me nuts. But it is when people go into places and they assume because they read the history of the building that spirit is still there.
Yes.
That drives me nuts. Seriously? How do you know what spirit's there until you go in and investigate that spirit? How do you know it's not somebody different?
Or just a spirit passing through that happened to...
Correct. How do you know it's that spirit of that person? That's so-called says they're supposed to haunt it, or the lady in white that's supposed to be here. How do you know? You don't unless you have somebody with some abilities or sensitive or that type of stuff to actually know what's going on in the building.
And give you, like when we did our psychic sweep, not everything was exactly to the history, but you hit on things, and we put markers down, which this is cool. We put markers down where Scotty felt stuff. And then when the group came through, we didn't let them know anything. And, man, I think they hit every marker that you had me set up. People getting feeling the same thing you felt. Someone in a group would say something, and you would be like, Bob, where are they? And I'd be like, they're right by the picture that you had that feeling. And that was awesome for me because I'm still kind of skeptical. I always joke around with Pam on my team. I'm always testing her when we do investigations. I don't give her all the information. And then she'll hit on stuff perfect. And I'll be like, I don't know how you knew that because only I knew it talking to the, especially residentials, because I'm the only one who did the interview. So I love getting confirmation like that. And that night was awesome. Some of the stuff you did when people were getting the same feelings. And I know people really liked our group by doing that. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, and we had one of the best hackbox sessions I think I've ever had that night. It was so great. It was such direct response.
Hey,
I really never had one that just, a lot of times you do hackbox sessions or spirit box sessions, and you get one message after a while after you answer a question.
Then you get a migraine.
What?
Then you get a migraine because it goes la 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 la.
Yeah, forever, And,
Yep.
But that night we were able to ask a question, and within 10, 15 seconds, we were able to get an intelligent response right back to what we said. And then what was even the cool part was I started playing with it, and I started asking duplicate questions to see if we got the same answers.
I remember that. That was awesome. And,
And we did.
a person...
Remember we got his name twice?
Yep. And the person that was there that night, they actually are in the chat room because they just said, I'm looking back to my book here. or my chat room. They said, "Hey, I'm the person that had the ghost box that night."
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're in the chat room. I think it wasn't. I think the gentleman that had it. I think they were the couple that had the daughter that you had to help. She was this one that was being overwhelmed with emotion and that.
Right.
Which there's another thing. Here's the thing that happened the night of this investigation. Scotty realized this girl. What was she, about 15, 16?
Yeah, somewhere in their teens. Yeah.
And she was sensitive, but she didn't know how to control it, and she was getting very emotional. And Scotty honed in on it and told me, "Hey, listen, take over the group. I have to deal with her and try and help her." And that's what that was so cool. I forgot all about that until I think his name was Jason. And I thought that was really cool, though, that you helped their daughter, because that girl was actually crying because she was feeling the emotions of what was going on around her.
Yeah, she let her emotions come in, which she shouldn't.
Yes.
Which she needs to learn how to block out. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And all I just had to give her some advice on how to do it, and the rest of the night she was able to pick up on a lot of stuff. So it was really cool. She was able, it's neat. And like I said, I'm not in it for the kudos, but thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I even forgot about that too. That was, a wonderful night. But yeah, back to not knowing what's in the building. Investigate. If you're an investigator, investigate the building. Try to ask the spirit's name. Try to open a communication with something. With if you have I hate K2s, so let's not go there. But if you have something that you can talk with a spirit box or a medium or something, try to open the dialogue and try to find out who the spirit is before you're assuming that because Abraham Lincoln slept here, Abraham Lincoln's in the building. Give me a break. Seriously, he's not. So that type of stuff. That just drives me. That's my second bad thing. I see that all the time on TV. All the time.
Hey, I don't know if you saw in the chat room, they said she has learned to really use her gift now since talking with you.
Yep. Well, there they are. Hi, how you guys doing?
So that's cool.
That's great.
See, that's cool. I didn't even know they're going to be in the room. See, sometimes I don't know because people, with their chat names, I don't put faces with chat names sometimes unless they mention something. And when I saw that in the chat room, I'm like, hey, that's right. They brought the ghost box up because I was asking people if we had any equipment anyone wanted to try. And that was just a fluke because then you're like, oh, you got a hack box? Let's try it. And I was like, yeah. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that was probably the best hack box session I've ever done. Seriously, and I've been all over. And that was incredible. Enjoyed it. I was like, it was such pure spirit communication that night. Spirit was there. He was in the room. He was telling us how he hung himself. It was everything.
Yep.
It was just clear. It was answer. What's your name? Gave us his name. Then later on, what's your name? Gave us the name again. I'm like, oh, see, now that's awesome.
You know what? That first night, I was kind of worried for how many people we had in the group. But, man, we had a lot of personal experience and stuff going on that you just couldn't explain there. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't say everything was paranormal, but there was a lot of weird stuff going on. Like you said, the hack box, we had an awesome session.
How about that bang?
Yeah.
That we were getting all night long. Everywhere we go, we get this bang like these metal railings. And I didn't know at first that the theater we were in, because I knew it was a theater, because that's the address I got to put in my GPS to get there. I didn't know it was a jail.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until
I figured it out later. I go, so is this a jail? And somebody goes, yeah. And I go, okay, that's why I figured this out. But it was like somebody's banging. Then we were in that little room, that green room down the hall. And I'm sitting there and I go, okay, if you're gonna do it, bang it now. And it does it right next to my ear.
Yep, I was standing next to you.
Oh my God, there it is.
I have to admit, you did jump and scream. You were like, ah!
I did. I jumped. I was like, because it was right on my ear. I was like, right, because I was expecting it in the room. I didn't expect him to do it right next to me.
Yeah, it sounded like it was right there, right by us, like it was right in the room. Because before that, it sounded more like it was in the hallway, because I went out in the hallway to look to see if another group was out there banging around, doing something. And then when I came in, that's when you're like, come on, if you're going to do it, can you do it closer so we can hear it? And I was like, bam, it's right
in my ear. I just, what the heck? I went, oh.
That was awesome.
It's like people always say, do you get spooked? I go, no, I jump. And I do. I don't run away. I don't. I get startled like anybody else.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to run after and try to figure out what the hell it was. Because a lot of times you don't expect things to happen right next to you.
Especially when you asked for it right on key. I mean, it was like barely, not even a second. You were like asked, and then bam, it happened.
Yeah, I know.
And
I said, okay, if you're going to do it right here. Bang.
Yeah, that was actually. I know people are probably thinking like, "Good God, are they just going to talk about Pensacola?" I have to admit, Pensacola was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. The event was cool, hanging out with everybody, and the investigation, even though it was kind of a cluster, you know what, at first,
right.
we got it pretty organized. Me, you, Joe, Daryl, Mackenzie helped. Once we all got it kind of organized a little bit more.
Amy was in our group. Amy helped.
Yep. It worked out really. I thought it was really cool. Now, we've been talking a lot about your gift and how you're helping people in that. One of the other things I want to touch on, people might not know about you, is you are the owner of ztalkradio.com.
Correct, ztalkradio.com, yeah.
And let people know, I've gotten over there a few times. I think I was in your program, The Buzz.
Right.
Messing around, talking to you. I forgot who you guys were talking to. But I try and kind of snoop around, see what everyone else is doing. But let people know what your network's all about.
Sure. I've been on the air almost 4.5 years now on the radio, solid. I do a show Monday nights on my station. It's 4 hours from 8 to midnight Central, so 9 to 1 a.m. for you Easterners.
You Easterners.
And then for you guys out in California, that would be, 6 o'clock to 10 or 11, something like that.
They'll figure it out.
And Mountain, don't even get me going, because I'm not going to get it. Anyway, so no, I started 4 years ago doing all paranormal radio, and it got tiring for me because after a while you can only talk about the same thing so many times. So I changed the show 2 years ago with my awesome friend, my dearest friend, Zita Ost, and her and I, she's also the program director over at ztalkradio.com. She and I do a show Monday nights called The Buzz, and we talk about anything. But we end up always going back to paranormal because that's what we're in. Both of us are in it. But, we are able to talk. We've had movie stars. We had Sahih Faraj on he used to be, he was the cab driver in the original movie Ghost. But then he was on 24. He was one of the terrorists on 24. And then he's going to be in the movie Sinbad. And so there's a lot of, so we get guys like that. We get authors on. I had an author on. His name was William Beck, and he did the Caribbean Agenda. Was a book that he wrote, and I loved it. I mean, I love the characters. His character's called McGrain. He's kind of like a missionary, kind of like a combination between James Bond and Tom Selleck, as Magnum PI, kind of like that. So we had him on, and now the cool thing about that is he's writing a new book, and he's going to use my name as a character in his book. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I got in, but he's going to be the second one because I'm already in a book as a character. I was in Marley Gibson's book in her fifth story in her Ghost Huntress series. I was Mr. Rorek, the evil history teacher.
Boy, you are just Mr. Popular. You're in books. You're in movies.
Yep, I'm on radio.
On radio, you're just everywhere.
That's what I'm trying to be. I'm at conventions. I'm at 8 conventions this year. I'll be at Gettysburg in Phenomenology 104. I'll be at the big event though. We're going to be out at the Stanley this year. Cass is going to be out with me at the Stanley this year. That's in May. That's Frontier Paracon by Haunted Entertainment. I like how you say that's my management group.
Yes.
Dan Guthrie and group is Haunted Entertainment, and that's who I'm with. And we have this huge event at the Stanley this year. So if you're anywhere near to Estes Park, Colorado, want to get out there, investigate the Stanley, come on out with us. It's going to be a great event. The first week in May.
Yeah, you got a lot of people coming out there. I saw the banner. You know what? I should try and get the banner for me. I can put it in my paranormal main events.
All right, I'll throw it out to you. I'll get it out to you.
Hey, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's going to be great. So we'll be there. But But yeah, no, the radio show we talk about all things, that are in it. We do politics, we do aliens, we do 2012, we do all that type of stuff. I mean, I read books all the time. Sometimes we have 2 or 3 authors on a week, so it's a great show. I have a great co-host with me, Zeta. She's a lot of fun. But yeah, we've been on now. Zeta and I this is going into our 3rd year, so.
Isn't that crazy how time flies?
Yeah, so this will be almost going into my 5th year of radio already. I'm like, oh wow, this is crazy. And it's every Monday night for 5 years. It's been kind of fun, so.
Yeah, this is my 3rd year doing Paranormal Wavelengths on the internet here on Sunday nights. And it's like, it's just weird. You think back, I look back at some of the old shows. Do you have your shows archived?
I do. We have some of them. They're on iTunes. You can find it under Spooky Scotty. That's my name. That's what I go by. So I got SpookyScotty.com, which I'm revamping right now. It's up. Come on over and find SpookyScotty.com and sign up to be a member. I do some private readings on there through a site called Random. You can find it on there. It's in its early stages of revamp. But come on over and see it anyway. So SpookyScotty.com.
Yeah, and remember, we're friends in that. If you got something to plug, you can put it on my Paranormal Wavelengths on Facebook and that, or hit me up and I'll share it around and put it in the main events here. All right, man?
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I'm always about networking and just helping other people out that are, got the same passion as I do and just out to help people and that, get the word out. That's what it's about, Yep.
We have over at ztalkradio.com, we have about 30 live shows a week. All our primetime hours, we have shows during the day and night. We have shows that just don't do paranormal. So I mean, we have one of the first skeptic shows. We have a skeptic on our network.
That's Joe.
No, he's the skeptical one. But we have one that's diehard that won't ever believe.
Really?
He's an atheist and skeptic too. So.
I'll have to check it out.
Joe's skeptical, and this guy, he's the real deal. So it's pretty cool.
Now,
so it's fun to have it. I mean, I bring what I started Z-Talk was for is everyone to be able to have a place to speak their minds and send out their messages without anybody telling you what to do.
Yeah, because I know you had the same. We don't name drop, but I know I had the same experience as you. That's what we clicked about too at Pensacola. We both had the same experience at another network about trying to control who you can talk to and
correct.
That's what at your place it's pretty much free for all. It's all about networking.
You can do whatever you want with your show. You can sell it however you want. Do whatever you want. I just give you a place to broadcast. And it's free to all the shows that broadcast. I don't charge them a thing. So
now, are all your shows? Because your show is just radio. You don't see you, right?
Yeah, right. Dan Guthrie, who runs Haunted Entertainment, he does a show on Sunday night that's just all video. He doesn't run it through the network feed, so he does it over there. We have 2 video screens on the network, so we run it through there. We do have live investigations we do from all over the place. When we do events and stuff, we'll broadcast live from the event through the. I think we use live stream. And we broadcast through there. So, yeah, we have 2 video screens on there. A lot of times we'll have 2 laptops that run, and you'll get 2 different rooms of an investigation at one time. So
that's cool. That's cool. See, I knew you had other things. I wanted to let everybody know it's just not radio. You do have video, kind of like what people are seeing tonight, people talking and showing investigations. Now, I don't mean to jump subjects, but I meant to get to a question earlier. My ADHD clicks in and lack of sleep. The subject we were talking about, how you say if it's a child spirit, you don't have to do talk like that. Someone asked, does it what about using trigger objects, like how people use toys and that? Is that
most of the time it doesn't work, does it?
I haven't had no experience yet, like have anything work. I know some people that have used a ball and it's been moved, but how do you know it's a child? That's what I said. How do you know it's a child moving it? It could be, it could just be some, like you said, just a spirit thing. Okay, they want me to move this. I'll move it just to make them happy. But yeah.
Trigger objects all in themselves are fine if the spirit is willing to try to do that for them. A lot of spirits don't have a lot of energy to do that, but if they can do that for you, that's great. So that's where it comes down to. So trigger object, yes. Most of the time, I find them quite pointless.
Really?
Yeah.
Now
we did this investigation at the birthplace of the NHL up in Eveleth, Minnesota. And there was supposed to be a child there, and there was a younger spirit that passed that showed himself that way. I understood it, but all the other investigators left the ball in the room, and over the years, nobody ever saw it move. I was like, I wonder why. I wonder why. But we were able to get voices. We were able to get EVPs at night. We were able to get knockings. We were able to get a lot of other activity happening, but that ball didn't move. Why? Because you were playing to somebody who didn't want to play like that anymore.
Yeah. Like you said, they're not in that form anymore, so they're like, well, okay, I'm not that little kid anymore.
Right.
So they're not going to...
But who's this? I mean, we all learn. I mean, that's my biggest thing. We all learn, and once we pass, we all think we're going to stay as a 5-year-old in death, and that's how we're going to stay the rest of our lives, or the rest of eternity is as a 5-year-old. You're going to run around, in spirit form as a 5-year-old? No. You run around as your energy and your spirit.
Yeah. It's just hard. I know how I can't fault people for thinking that way, because it's just like I said before, if that's what your information you're getting, that's the one thing people, they get so much information before they go in a place. Some of it's good, but some of it's not, because it almost gets in your head where that's all you're thinking. You don't think outside the box.
Right.
And like you said, if you read all the history, and that's all, like what we did in Pensacola, we did that one, that Gray House.
Right.
Everyone stuck to what exactly the history was. And sometimes, if you're not getting a response, think outside the box, ask other questions. And some of the things I think, too, is I don't think you always have to ask 20 million questions like you're interrogating somebody. Sometimes just talk with your partner or your group you're doing an EVP session about things happening in the world right now. Because if it's a spirit from a past life, they might be like I say sometimes, can you believe, we have a black president? And I'm always waiting for a response to go, are you serious? Because, if it's someone from a different time, they'd be like, really?
Right.
I mean, I don't know, because you say we live different. You believe in we're reincarnated, right?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah. So say someone hasn't been reincarnated yet, and the last time they were in was like,
1800s.
Yeah, the 1800s, and we're talking about a black president.
They're going to come back, and this is all they're going to remember, and that's what they say.
Yeah. So
exactly.
That's why I try to tell people,
I agree.
You don't have to so much seem like you're a cop interrogating someone, because let me tell you, if someone just sat there and bam, 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 question after question, and I don't know who they are, I'm not going to answer them.
To them.
Yeah. That's the thing. You got to be more, I don't know, I start EVP sessions out kind of being relaxed, talking between each other, and then I usually make a comment saying, you see us talking friendly here, joking, laughing. If you want to chime in, you have something you want to talk about, or you have a message, hey, let us know. And, we've gotten some voices, different things. It might just be a residual, but we got something. It's just a thought.
No, I agree. I mean, that's the thing is if you think of them as spirits, as people who've passed, how would you want to be treated in a conversation if you're at a coffee shop or at a bar?
Yeah.
Would you want somebody to interrogate you all night and just throw it, or would you want somebody just to talk to you and listen?
Yeah, and that's what I try saying. I'm like, if you got a message, we're here to listen. If we can help you somehow.
They will give you the thing. I saw Mackenzie in the chat room. She put a good question in. She goes, "What's the number one thing that I think you could? My number one tip for an investigation? It is to use your senses.
Yep.
And it is to use your mind, to use you. Not all these tools, not everything else. You will experience way more on an investigation if you use your mind."
I try telling people, when you go in, if you're doing, not like that huge group we had, but if you're on a team, I try, and when I get in a location, I try and sit down and almost like relax to try and soak in the environment, what's going on around you. instead
Yeah,
of
but
just
we did the same thing, though. I mean, you look at
Yeah.
that night we investigated Pensacola. Even with the large team, you can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we
It's how you take on an investigation. Most people want to do it as a show. It's not a show.
actually,
It's not.
yeah. Now that you mentioned that, when we were in that I think it was the green room back there. What do? We got
Right.
everyone to sit, kind of settle down, relax, instead
Right,
of
and that's when we got the most bings.
yeah, because
Yeah.
some of the other groups, not saying that we were the best, maybe.
We were.
Yeah, we were.
Definitely.
But yeah, some of the other groups, you seen them when I had to cut through. All the people are banging into each other, moving around, wouldn't sit still, and it's like, how do you really know what's maybe?
Right, we knew that night because nobody was moving.
Yeah.
When we were in a position, it was everybody sat there because they all knew what our expectations were.
Yep. And like
That's what you have to do is set it out. But we had way more that night and everything, even though we used the tools and everything, that we had way more personal experiences than anything else.
Yep.
And that's because we were using our minds.
Yeah, and I think it just came naturally to me and you because that's what I do on a regular investigation with a small group. You just try and sit down, and I just don't understand. I've investigated with some people back in the day, other teams I was on, and these people would not sit still. Here's the thing you'll think's funny. There's one team I was on. Everybody was sensitive. Everybody was a medium. I'm sitting in a room with them. I'm just trying to sit and relax. Good God, Scotty. Each person was, I feel like someone was stabbed here. Then the next one, I feel like someone was choked. I think someone was shot here. I'm thinking, what are we going to do? Throw every way someone died until we hit something? Nobody be quiet. You know what it is? This is it happened in Pensacola. You were talking. They were fishing. That's your number 3 thing that bugs you when people say they're sensitive. That lady, not calling the person out because I don't even know what her name was fishing so bad. I mean, she said more things and contradicted things.
That was the night. That was the night we were over at. That was the second night.
Yes.
Sunday night when we were over at the house.
Yeah.
It was you, me. It was when you, me, and Scott Temperman,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
That lady.
And you got me now. Yeah, that drove me nuts. Oh, I was so mad. I was like, dude, lady, would you stop fishing?
Yeah.
And she kept going, I feel this. I'm like, stop it. Really?
Yeah, like Scott Temperman had that equipment sitting there, and she'd be like, "Can you turn it green?" And you'd wait, she'd wait a second. Okay, turn it blue. Can you turn? It's like, you got this. If there is a spirit, you got him so freaking confused. But yeah, I remember you making that expression. We were outside saying, "God, I hate people that think they're sensitive or they feel they're at the level of like a regular medium." Because I think everyone's sensitive in some way. It's just not everyone's.
Well, I agree with you there. That was my other point I was going to make. I was talking tonight to a friend from college who has an idea for some things to happen this year, and so hopefully they go through. So I'm going to work with her. But I was talking to her tonight. She goes, I'm not sensitive. I said, well, everybody is.
Yeah.
I said, everybody has the ability. When you're in a dark alley or you're driving this way and you just have a feeling not to drive that way,
yep.
and then you find out that there was an accident there, that was spirit telling you not to be there.
Yeah.
That wasn't them saying, that wasn't you just getting it lucky.
Getting lucky.
But it's the same. It's my analogy. I think I told you this before. I always use the baseball analogy. Everybody has played baseball in some kind of form.
Yep.
I mean, people play stickball, they play kickball, they play, it's all baseball in some kind of form. So what happens is not everybody that plays baseball can be Babe Ruth, can be A-Rod, can be, Sosa, But everybody's got the ability to play baseball. That's the cool thing. It's the same thing like golf. Not everybody can be the number one in the nation, but everybody can go out and play. Everybody that goes on the investigation can get something, and they will send something. But not everybody's able to speak and know exactly what everybody's saying. And another thing that goes along with that, and that's why the young mediums and that stuff, I always try to talk to them about what's the difference in the emotion that you've got. Now, the difference is hate and anger are two different things. But a lot of people will put that emotion together as the same thing. oh, this person's angry. Well, maybe he is, maybe, or does he hate this person? See what I'm saying? There's nuances between emotions that you have to realize, too.
That's what I was.
You still there?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was fixing something. I've said that on the show, too, about I feel everyone's sensitive. Like you're talking about the baseball. We're just all on different levels. Like Pam always jokes with me saying, I don't listen to my one spirit guide. They're always trying to my one spirit guide is always trying to tell me stuff, and I hear it, but I don't always listen. But I'm sensitive in a different way. I see things ahead of time sometimes. I get images, and I find things in the house. I find things everywhere.
Right.
But I just don't know how to hone my skill. Pam's been trying to help me, but I'm not.
We can work together, too. I'll help you out.
Yeah, it just.
I'm working with Mackenzie, who's in the chat room now. They're trying to help her out. She's a lot better than she says she will, and she won't admit it in the chat room. But she's got the ability, and you just need the help. So.
Well, I think part of the reason too is like people like me and Mackenzie and that we're still got that skeptical side. We don't want to open up all the way because, like you said, sometimes we're at that level of what are people going to think if I am sensitive, and you're worried about people thinking you're crazy. You're talking. You've already moved past that, and that's what we were talking about. There's different levels. You move past it, you don't care. You already know what.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore, I don't care.
And I think that's a roadblock sometimes for people, and sometimes people never get past that. And that's the thing. Just like baseball, you might never be that Jeter or this superstar.
Right.
But you gotta understand where you are when you're sensitive.
Right. And I don't think I'm the greatest of all time either. I think guys like Chip Coffey and Chris Fleming, I think those guys are way past me, but they always tell me, no, you always got to be thankful for what you have. And that's the difference in this field, too. We all do it differently,
Yeah.
I don't put myself in that category, but I'm just happy to be playing pro ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're just.
And I know that I've gotten the skills to play pro ball, so I need to use them for what's right.
Helping people. That's what you're thinking. You
Exactly.
understand you might not be at these other guys' level, but you're happy where you're at right now. But Pam's the same way. You're still learning and trying to teach yourself, and that's the biggest thing.
I'm still helping people even with what I have now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you feel you have sensitive ability, a sensitive ability, get in contact with somebody. There's always a network. That's what you got to do is network with people. Don't just go out on your own and figure you know it all, because most likely you don't.
No, you don't. You never will.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, And even in the spiritualist church, I mean, you look at our ministers and how well they, our pastors have, and you go, you see all the, because you're in the church of mediums, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't fake it there, because everybody knows if you're faking.
That's funny. It's like this guy is
So
such
I
a
always
fake.
like to take people who think they are. And say, why don't you come to a spiritualist church and give a reading?
Hey, is that like someone faking like Scott Grimwald from the Stew?
Yeah,
He's awesome. When I had him on the show, he started pretending he was a sensitive, and he started saying stuff for people in the chat room, and he actually hit on something like, "Oh my God, you are! That's exactly, what I'm feeling, and this happened to me." And Scott's like, "No, I was just messing around."
See, what happened was we know that there was a class at church that they had that the teacher was telling everybody to go ahead and make only up bad ones. You know what I mean? Don't actually give real messages. And everybody tried to give bad messages, but even at that, most of the messages were true. So
that's kind of cool. And then the one guy that actually gave a bad message, like, yeah, this guy's faking it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's already 10:30, man. Time just flies by.
Oh my goodness. Crazy, dude.
If anyone has any more questions, ask them now. If there's anything else that you want to give a shout out to, anybody?
No, just everybody can find me over at ztalkradio.com. Like I said, my show's on Monday nights from 8 to midnight Central. You can find me at SpookyScotty.com. There's a couple places. We're on Facebook. I got 1,000 friends, but or 5,000 friends, but go ahead and hit me up anyway. lot of people drop off. So otherwise, I'm at a lot of events, and we'll be at the Stanley with Cass. That's going to be a fun event. So either find me over on Haunted Entertainment too. One of those ways, you'll be able to find me.
I will definitely just if you like I said, if there's anything you got to promote, just hit me up.
Yeah, I'll be in Pensacola again, so make sure you get down there again. Cause
yeah, I put my thing in.
I just talked to Erica, so looks like September this year, though. So.
All right, I talked to her. Actually, it's been a while. Time just flies by. I think it was actually before Christmas. I mean, we're almost going to be out of January soon. It seems like Christmas. It seemed like Christmas was just like last week. I mean, it's just crazy. I'll have to hit her up. I already put my application in to do it again because I really want to hang out with all you guys, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll be back. So we had her on the show, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago.
I have to come, Scotty.
I
have to be your wingman for you and Rich so you guys don't get left at a goth bar again.
Oh, my goodness. That was awful.
That was the best. I go walking by and I see Erica and I'm like, hey, where's my partners in crime? Oh, my God, I left them there. And, like, you guys had been there over an hour at least.
Oh, my God. Manny, by the way, just so you know, the Giants just beat the 49ers. In overtime with a field goal, yeah. Great. 49ers fumbled and Giants picked it up, kicked the field goal, and won in overtime. And Manning just said, "Oh my effing, G, it's the Super Bowl."
It's
they're in the, they got the Packers of last year going for them, beating all the big dogs, like we did. So.
And that's a replay. The Patriots and Giants of what 3 years ago was it?
Yep.
Where they had that. Crazy catch, that guy in his helmet, and won.
Yeah, we'll see. So it's good. Here it goes, Patriots and Giants again. So.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so I can't run for president. I got too much spirits in my closet.
Too much spirits. I know you're getting a lot of good compliments in here, and I know this one. Let me go back here quick. Case. She would like to thank you personally for doing this and for good reasons and the rare, exceptional, and appreciated. So that is awesome, though. But it's going to be cool coming up. And I hope I'm going to get to Pensacola. I put my app in so I get to hang out with you guys. And maybe I'll try
tell everybody, if they want to, if they just want to talk or just want to hit me up, they can find me on Skype. I'm Scotty, MRIP on Skype, MRIP. Go ahead and hit me up there, too. I talk a lot, so go ahead, hit me up on Facebook. Let's chat. And if you have any questions or anything, I'm more than happy to talk with everybody. So
Scotty's an open book.
I am. So feel free to talk and become friends because it's all about it for me.
Well, Scotty, I appreciate taking the time out of your life here and coming. And I apologize I didn't get to ask how you were doing because Facebook's been since I did those timeline things.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with anybody, and when you started talking about it, I just remembered I saw the message. I'm glad you're doing better.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, like you said, the curse didn't get to you, and you're cancer-free.
Right. Well, it hit me, so if this is it, I'll take it. So.
Yeah, so that's awesome that everything's going good for you. And I know we talked earlier. My condolence to you and your Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, and now my condolence to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes. So you have an awesome evening, and I'll be talking with you on Facebook.